Hey there, welcome to Venture with Jazzy. On this channel, we talk about credit cards and how to do better with your money. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and give me a like. For my honeymoon, we booked a 10-night stay as well as 2 round-trip tickets from New York, and this was mostly covered with credit card points. The true value of this trip would have been well over $2,800. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the credit cards that I've used, as well as the amount of points I used to book this trip, how I strategized it, and from here, you can hopefully understand the value of credit card points. How did I book my honeymoon for free? Simply said, we used a couple months accumulation of credit card points, specifically 4 credit cards from Chase. So that's the Sapphire Preferred, the Hyatt card, the Freedom Flex, as well as the Unlimited. And of course, when I say free, there's always some sort of spending involved, but realistically, we did save a lot of money. And this trip happened in April 2022. We started to accumulate points in August 2021 and basically planned the trip from there. The first major credit card that I got was the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. I got this card when it had the 100,000 sign-up bonus. This card did most of the heavy lifting and truly gave us the most value. All we had to do was spend $4,000 within the first 3 months of getting this card, and then the points would automatically be transferred. We knew we'd be able to spend this money because we were just getting married, we had a ton of expenses that we were expecting, and so we calculated and decided how much and how many cards we could get. And ultimately, my husband and I got a total of 6 new cards during this season. And then the next cards we got were the Chase's Hyatt cards. My husband and I both got the Hyatt card, so we were able to double up on that. All we had to do was spend $3,000, so $6,000 with the 2 of us within the first 3 months, and each of us got a sign-up bonus of 30,000 points. And this card does have a $95 annual fee, but we would basically use this card as a keeper card in the future. So after the first year of owning this card, Hyatt does give you 1 free hotel stay within the category of 1 to 4. They also offer a second free night if you spend over $15,000 within a given year, but we kind of feel we may not reach that limit, but at least that 1 free night will definitely be valued over $95. And because both of us got the Hyatt card, we would have 2 free nights, which is pretty cool. And then next I got Chase's Freedom Flex and Unlimited cards. So I got these cards a couple months after getting the Sapphire and the Hyatt, so then I wouldn't get all these hard inquiries onto my account. So I just got these 2 cards because I wanted to kind of maximize all the points I could be getting, like in groceries and daily spending, so that kind of helped accumulate points as well. And finally, there is one other Chase card that we used on this trip. I got this a few years earlier without understanding the true value of this card. It is the United Explorer card. I'll talk about how we used it at the end of this video. Now we moved on to how we actually planned the trip, and it did take quite a few days so then we could find the best deal. As for trip planning, the original plan was actually to go to Norway, but we realized that there weren't too many Hyatt hotels where we wanted to go. The other hotels would be expensive. We then decided on Italy and would spend 3 nights in Florence, 2 nights in Venice, and 4 nights in Rome. Once we decided and planned what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go, we then started to look at flights so then we can plan the actual dates. And when I start looking at flights, the first thing I do is turn on incognito mode and then turn on my VPN. I don't know why, but you might notice that after you check flights the first day, the second day usually gets more expensive. So this is just my method of trying not to get tracked. The next thing I do is check Google Flights. I love Google Flights because it gives you an overview of all the flight days, the cheapest dates, except it doesn't show Southwest, which is kind of sad. But overall, it does give you a good idea about which dates you can choose to fly, so then you can go on other websites and then plan the dates from there. With this in mind, I then go on to checking Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal for the flights, and then later looking at other transfer partners to see if they have a better deal. And just to note, we actually had a few more constraints compared to maybe others who are booking their flights to Italy now, because during this time last year, Italy was just coming out of lockdown, and so there were less flights going from New York to Italy, so we had limited choices. And so the workflow I usually do when checking flights now is to look at Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal, jot down that price, look at all the airlines, and then look at those transfer partners to see if they have a better cents per point value. And so looking at Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal, the United Airlines seemed to have the best deal. The price for 2 round-trip tickets was $1,605, or we could use our points for 128,442 points. And that makes it a value of 1.24 cents per point, which isn't bad because you do want your cents per point value to be over 1. And then we moved on to looking at United's website. However, we did realize that the cents per point value was less than 1.24, so we decided to book our flights on Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal. Generally, if you do see a better value on any other flights, we would transfer the points from Chase onto that airline, and sometimes there is a really good deal. So that's why you always want to check and see if transfer partners have a better deal compared to Chase's portal. So now moving on to selecting hotels. As for Venice and Florence, those two cities, we realized that we didn't really want to book hotels there because most of the hotels we found that were on Hyatt's website, they were either too far from the main activities or they weren't as interesting as the Airbnbs we found. We did end up really liking our Florence Airbnb as it was in the middle of everything. The value was pretty good and it had a kitchen. We really like to cook. As for Rome, we did decide to get a hotel. We ended up getting a 4-star hotel in Rome called the Tribune. This hotel was on Hyatt's website and we were able to use our points to book it. We did 3 days at this hotel and normally the total cost should have been $1,200, but we ended up getting this hotel for only 45,000 points, and that made it a value of 2.6 cents per point, which is an amazing value. So in total, with those 3 nights hotel stay as well as the 2 round-trip flight tickets, we did save a total of $2,800. Now, of course, we probably could have booked the rest of our stays at hotels using our points, but the experience was an important factor in our consideration. I wanted to talk a little bit about the extra perks we received during our trip because I'd say that the cards did give us more value than the money saved on flights and hotels. One was lounge access, so I do own the United Explorer card and I get 2 one-time passes per year. Now, we were able to go into the lounge from the Newark airport going to Italy just on the first leg of the flight, but I do have to say this lounge isn't so exciting as there's limited selection of food, there's no showers, and I've been to a lot of lounges where there's just a lot of better perks. It's just that at this period of time, the Sapphire card does not offer lounges, and then this was the only card that I did get lounge access for. But it is better than staying in the airport lobby, and at least you get a couple free snacks. And the next perk is not having to pay for foreign transaction fees by using my Sapphire preferred card. Now, when we were in Italy, we were able to use our credit card a lot of times, and it was really great because we didn't need to think twice about, oh, if this card is better with the transaction fees and so on. I don't know, it was just a no-brainer to only use that Sapphire card and then not have to worry about paying extra fees. By the way, if you do encounter the cashier asking you if you want to pay in US dollars or the local currency, you should choose the local currency because the banks will give you the best currency exchange rate, and usually when you pay in US dollars, there's always some sort of fee associated with it. And finally, the last perk that I'll mention is getting that $100 global entry fee credit with our credit card. Now, the Chase Sapphire Preferred card does not offer global entry credit, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's all right. There are plenty of cards that do offer that. So my United Explorer card does offer that $100 global entry credit, or you can choose for Nexus or TSA PreCheck. One thing to note is that if you are qualified for global entry, you should definitely choose that instead of the TSA PreCheck because global entry, it offers pre-check and more benefits because you don't want to go through customs in New York. That's just, the security is plain mean. But anyway, it's kind of funny because I just realized I could get this credit. Before, maybe 2 years ago, I wasn't really into credit cards. I only got this United Explorer card for that free check luggage, and I was totally missing out on all the perks that it had to offer. So I was finally able to get that, and then my husband also got the global entry entry credit with one of his other cards. He got the Amex Delta card, which is pretty cool. And so getting a global entry was really worth it, and I'm very glad we got it. All right, so that pretty much sums up everything I did to maximize the point value on our honeymoon trip. Now I'd like to ask you all in the comments, do you have any travel plans? Are you using your points on those? I'd really like to know. I actually do have travel plans. I'm going to Taiwan with my mother-in-law and my husband, and I'm really excited about that too because we're going to be going through the DFW airport, and finally we'll be able to experience the Capital One lounge from our Venture X card. We've been really wanting to do that, and hopefully I can produce a video there. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.